This week, we're working into transitioning with ease. So, our practice will be how to gracefully transition. I'm so happy you're here today. Thank you for joining me. If you're able to step away from your workspace, that would be really nice, just so you can block out the stimulation. Maybe silence your phone if that's something that's possible, or turn off that little ping of the email receipt. And if you have to stay at your desk, that is perfectly fine. You're welcome to sit in a chair the whole time. I'm going to head back to a little couch cushion that I've covered with a throw blanket. It is nothing fancy, but it feels good to get down onto the floor. And you'll notice I have shoes on. You're welcome to keep your shoes on. If you're grounding, it's nice to have feet flat. So if you're still seated in your chair, you might like to take your shoes and your socks off and really try to push your feet into the ground if that's available to you. Otherwise, it's nice to step away so we can disconnect and reconnect to ourselves, the most important part. But it's also nice to get really low to the floor and just let your body stretch out for a moment. So as you get established, you can sit in the middle of a space as I am, or if you prefer to move yourself to a wall so that you can prop up and feel very supported, that's also very nice. You're also welcome to lie down. You can walk as you listen. Wherever you are, I just recommend getting as comfortable as possible, but not so comfy that you doze off. We do want to stay alert. So let's get ourselves a little stretched out to begin so that we feel ready to settle. Bringing hands behind you as much as you can reach. If you're able to clasp your palms or your forearms behind you, that can be very opening for your chest. And then take a huge look upwards. If this bothers your neck, keep your eyes forward. We're going to try to stretch out our throats. And while you're here, you may like to close your eyes, maybe even close them tight like a squish, squinch them all together, and then let them fall softly, closed or reopen. Stay lifting through your chin, but move a little bit through your jaw. Maybe you just turn your chin a little to one side and a little to the other, or you can separate your bottom jaw from the top and give it a little wiggle, freeing up your face. Let's go the other way, my friends. Bring your hands forward, hold your knees, or if you're in a chair, you can hold the arms of your chair. If you have space, you might like to stretch forward, clasping your hands in front of you. I like to cross my wrists. We call this lover's hands. It's a nice little stretch for your wrists as well. Whenever you get to a hold of some sort, we're gonna lean our backs away from our fingers, tucking chin down towards your navel, eye gaze, looking straight down, so that we can round into the back of our neck and really stretch open our back body. Now, thinking like these outstretched arms are a little elephant trunk that wants to explore, maybe you could move your arms side to side, just being a little curious with your back body, opening and stretching out. Let's try another breath in and out here as we move. And when you're ready to breathe in again, relift your upper body. Let your arms settle somewhere. Maybe give yourself a few shoulder shrugs so they can ease back and down. Anywhere that your arms can be heavy is a really nice place to land. We're just gonna peek over our right shoulder, moving through our neck a bit more. Peek over your left shoulder. Let's go one more each way. It feels good to move. Now, as we do settle, yogis and meditators, remember that you are welcome at any time to move. So if you need to move around a bit or recross your legs or stand up and sit back down, please do. Most importantly, we want to be comfortable so that we can drop into our practice. Closing your eyes can be a very beautiful way to disconnect from the outside world and come within. If that's not something that feels safe in your space, then softly blink eyes closed to slits. They're still open, you can still see, but we want to slit them so much so that things become grainy and unfocused. And then my technique is to look down the bridge of my nose. Off the tip, I find something really still and unmoving on the floor. And then I blink into those little slits. So even the floor becomes a bit unfocused. Great way to tune in to the rhythm of your breath in your body. Welcome to your practice today. Easing into transition. Congratulations, you just accomplished it. You transitioned from your work day to a meditative spot. So you're already a pro. Today is going to be easy for you. Let's begin, my friends, by breathing together. Breathe in through your nose, acknowledging our arrival to our practice with 3 conscious breaths. And then let's open our mouths like a big sigh. You can make noise. Feels good to just let go. Try that twice more. Don't force anything. Just breathe in through your nose and let it go in a big sigh. Inhale. Open mouth exhalation. Now for the rest of our practice together, let's really softly seal our lips, but allow your bottom jaw to become a bit slack from the top so our teeth aren't clenched. Our tongue feels heavy. It's resting on the back of our bottom teeth. And we'll begin breathing in and out through our noses today. Sometimes an official breath practice can be the opposite of what we're looking for, and it can be stressful. If I told you, I want you to breathe this length for this many times. So we're not forcing anything today. We're just merely the observer. We're here with open minds, hopefully. We're all practicing together for the very first time in this second here and now. So we are all beginners together. All we're asking of ourselves is to cultivate presence. Come within, drop into your body and your breath, and observe the length of it. How long, how many seconds is your inhalation? I'll simply ask that you try to breathe just a second longer on your out breath. And if more is comfortable for you, if you can breathe 2 or 3 seconds longer, please feel free. But our goal together will be to extend the length of our exhalations, to bring our parasympathetic nervous system into balance, allowing us to begin to rest and digest instead of the chaotic go and do, the fight and flight of the sympathetic nervous system. When we come into breath, we slow down the out breath. We get this beautiful sensation of resting, digesting, surrendering to the moment. I love a breath practice, a slowing down, a meditation practice, because I have found, and what I hope you will also find, is that with these small practices, weekly or daily, whatever you can do, you'll notice that in all aspects of your life, you become more observant, more responsive, breathing, and then doing. It makes our whole world just a little bit more graceful, calmer, and easy. So congratulations on committing to your self-care, the betterment of not just your own mind, body, and spirit, but everyone you interact with, because you're going to start to feel that you're bursting with super chill, breathy vibes. There's a lot of transitions happening these days, hence why today we're working on easy and graceful transitions. We're slowly transitioning back into our work lives. Maybe that entails a commute for you, back into a workspace that you haven't been for a while. We're transitioning out of masks in certain places. So weird to walk into a place now feeling naked without our masks. So these transitions, although they're welcomed and they seem exciting, sometimes they can be a bit overwhelming. We don't know until we get into that position. And you may be transitioning with children. Maybe you have some graduators, or you're transitioning out of school and into summer. We're transitioning into summer as of officially last weekend. So lots of change taking place. And of course, you always have your little changes in your personal and your work and your family and your home life. So transition is something that we deal with probably on a daily basis. But with transition comes challenge. So I ask you to take a new approach to transitional challenges that arise. When something difficult arises, are you able to view that scenario, that situation? Maybe you view it as a predicament at the time. View it as something that is happening for you. It's happening for us. This language is so important because what do we tend to say? When something unwelcome is happening, something new and foreign that can be frustrating, we say, this is happening to me. Why is this happening to me? So instead, even if it's perceived as negative in the beginning, are we able to ask ourselves, why or for what reason is this happening for me? What may I gain from this experience? What may I learn from this experience? It's such an interesting way to change your perspective. And it does require you to take a few steps back because in the moment, of course, everybody gets heated and frustrated or concerned or worried, whatever bubbles up when you get into a transitional challenge. So we take those few steps back. We learn from our meditation practice that we just need to breathe for a moment. The universe will eventually sort itself out, but we do have these techniques within us. And we ask, what does this situation have for us? Can it teach us patience? Does it bring us acceptance? Does it allow us to approach this new situation like we do our meditations as a beginner with an open mind, meaning that we don't have any judgment, we don't have any comparison because we're new, we're just exploring here. Know that we can grow out of struggle. Our choices come out of struggle sometimes, ideas, inspirations. They all emerge from an initial feeling of being frustrated or stuck. Not always, but don't you feel so accomplished once you achieve something that was a real struggle for you? So we just need to project a bit into the future. What does this situation have to offer us? Why has it come for us? At the inevitable crossroads of transition in our lives, are we able to choose love? Choose empowerment. Choose what makes us happy. What makes a positive difference, not only in our lives, but in the lives of others in this world as a whole. One of the easiest ways to find a graceful transition is with a constant in our lives, our breath. Our breath is always with us. We may not be aware of it, but it's always here. And one of the biggest blessings of our practice is the slowing down enough to be like, oh, hey, breath, there you are. Thank you for joining me again today. We have this very pivotal and impactful moment in our breath. It's the little tiny pause that is in between our in and our out breath. And then again, it visits us between the out and the in breath. So today, I would love for us to focus on that transition together. Now, if you're able to capture this pause between your breaths, it is the most beautifully calm, amazingly chill moment that I can find. It can be hard to tap into it, but as you're breathing, not forcing here, just breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. See if you can suspend your next in-breath just for a moment. And notice that perfect moment of stillness. Softly breathe out through your nose again. Notice that perfect moment of stillness before you softly re-inhale. Pause. Re-exhale. Continuing with that cycle with an emphasis today on your transition. Any length, any way of breathing. If your sinuses are clogged and you're having a tough time with your allergies, you can breathe with your mouth. or just trying to breathe through our nose to really soften. Bringing in positivity, bringing in a sense of empowerment. And then exhaling, releasing what is no longer serving us. And that's so easy to say, but so challenging to do. So let's not think about getting rid of everything in one session, but we might need to hold space. Maybe each of those transitions between our breaths helps us hold space for something that we're wishing we could shed some layers of. Maybe we know it's not serving us and we're ready to let it dissipate. If the time is right, possibly releasing, but at least giving yourself the opportunity to hold that space for the tension, the tightness, the feelings of stuck or stagnant. See if they're ready to slowly release bit by bit. Beautiful ease through the breath here, transitioning from in to out, from out to in. So I love focusing on these little pauses because if you know that you're going to have a stressful transition in your life, this is a great way to practice graceful and easy transitions. As you wish you would act and respond during that moment, try that with your breath. Just hold it with a real bit of tenderness. See if you can capture that stillness, imprint it in your memory, and breathe it deep within your cells. So you have this great memory just to bring back up whenever you need it. When you've encountered the physical transition times, the mental, we know we can just return to our breath to refine that moment where we've practiced stillness through graceful transition together. Now, as we're slowing down here and focusing on our breath and our transitions, our mind has different thoughts, doesn't it? Happens to the most practiced meditators. It's going to wander. This is very normal. I want you to remember when that happens, you are not those thoughts. There is nothing more important to true growth than realizing that we are not the voices inside our mind. We are just the one who hears it. There's a great quote by an author whose name is Michael Singer. He says, "The truth is that most of life will unfold in accordance with forces that are outside our control, regardless of what our mind says about it." So we're gonna roll with the flow, right? We're gonna transition gracefully. And when our mind is getting the best of us, we just gently rein it back in and come back to that beautiful transitional breath practice. But I like to bring this statement to your consciousness because so many of us are wrapped up in an endless loop of thoughts, and they might be anxiety-provoking thoughts. You're wondering, will I make it to my meeting on time as you're starting back into your commute life? Will I live up to the expectations of him or her? And then we're so used to being in our home spaces, when we leave, we might think like, oh, did I leave the oven on? Did I leave that candle burning? So we have this endless loop of thoughts. And our goal as we practice our meditation is to become a pure state of awareness. We are not our future or our past. We are here together now, here in this present moment. There is no pain of the past or future, no unexpectedness, no worries or concerns here. Rather, we're hoping to find a sense of ease, a softness, a quieting of all those fluctuations in our mind. So when our mind, we affectionately dub it the monkey mind. When the monkey mind comes into play, you think of a little cute monkey bouncing all around. When that feels like what's happening in your mind, how can you rein it back in with our breath practice, our graceful transition breath practice? Find your inhalation. Soften it, extend it, help it feel almost like a whisper. Notice that perfect moment of stillness in that pause, reconnect with your exhalation. And we know that miraculously, blessedly, we have this gift of that endless cycle of breathing. But the bigger gift, the truest gift, is when we become present with it. And we send that little monkey scurrying away. We quiet our minds as we come within to our breath. So it might help us if we come to the realization that we don't need to give our focus, our attention, our acknowledgement to every single thought that passes through our minds. We learn with practice how to become present in the moment to moment experiences in our lives, to allow our thoughts that are not serving us to just pass right on through and out of our awareness. So if a visual is really helpful to you, I normally envision little clouds in the sky, so I see my thoughts as these clouds. And then I just use a little gentle gust of wind. You can even use your lips, purse them, and like you're breathing through a straw. Just guide those breaths, using the thoughts like clouds to scurry right on out of our mind. Or if you love that monkey mind image, you could see him joining his friends. Just run right away, join the friends, right on out of our mind. A genuine sense of compassion and awareness for yourself, where you are today, is so important. We don't get upset. We just come back within. And during that Michael Singer quote, our mental dialogue never stops. It just keeps on going. Wonder, how does it decide what to say, when to say it, how much turns out to be true, and how much is really important. But know that you're not alone when we are working through transition, we're focusing on our breath, and we have all these jumbled thoughts and ideas still in our mind, and we're finding it challenging. It's okay. Know that you're not alone. Awareness is where we begin. It's amazing that you've noticed, oh, my mind is wandering. Good job. Because now all you have to do is bring it back to your breath, to your body, and your present space. Refocus on that amazing transition between your breaths. Can you hold yourself in that moment in perfect stillness? Once we have the awareness of our mind getting the best of us, we are ready to transform. So congratulations. When you're aware, that means change, shift is about to happen. It may be difficult to commit to your meditation and your breath work, but living with that endless cycle of a monkey mind, that endless loop, is much more difficult, much more anxiety provoking. So taking this time, stepping aside from all the to-dos is so important now more than ever in the midst of a lot of transitional periods. Let's train our awareness to be where we want it to be. You're doing that right now as you practice. In this very moment, with this breath. Every time we come back within, we calm the relentless thought factory that is our brains. We begin to develop an attitude of acceptance, being patient, sitting with what is, cultivating mindfulness as we work through our breath and seek out those amazing pauses. We're being prepared to really sit with what is. So as our thoughts come in, we aren't rejecting them or following them. We're just simply accepting our current reality exactly as it is and preparing ourselves with this practice to skillfully move beyond. We have this one little beautiful breath technique that will allow us to transform. not looking for a quick fix, although that's always nice. No quick fix is really going to help the monkey mind. It's just a committed practice, our weekly practice together, or your continued practice in between our formal ones of connecting with that breath, that slow, steady pause. Discovering your ability. I have faith in you. I know that you can do this. To be present and to cultivate acceptance and awareness. So let's promise ourselves and one another, we'll hold each other accountable, to commit to really small moments of stillness by disconnecting. Maybe you're still at your workspace, but you just close your eyes. You commit to one cycle of in and out breaths with those amazing pauses. And how smoothly can you transition between the two? Being gentle with yourself as you make this commitment. Healing, transformation, it all takes time. We will feel a softening when we're able to accept where we are and how you got here. Let's embrace the journey together. We most likely aren't going to come to every practice and feel like a success. There will be days where we just can't get rid of the chatter. That's very, very normal. And this is where we have to hold ourselves with kindness, loving, compassionate acceptance, baby steps. Dip your toes into the practice here and there. And if you're feeling really good with your first breath practice, working well through those graceful transitions, try a second or a third. Let's take a long, slow, deep breath in together here through our noses. Are you able to embrace that stillness? Can you bring it into every cell of your body before you breathe out even more softly and slowly through your nose again? Embracing again that tiny little pause. If you have time today to continue practicing that breath for a few more moments, please do. But as we end our formal practice together, let's begin to move a little bit through our fingers and our toes. My hope for you is that with your breath strategy, you'll feel that every transition you make for the rest of today will feel a little bit more graceful and easy, knowing that the power is within you to ease into any challenges and transitions that arise. Remember to choose love at the crossroads, empowerment. Choose what makes you happy, and most importantly, what makes a positive difference in your life, in the life of those you love, and in this world altogether. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste, my friends.